What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. And in this video, I will be going over worldwide download celebration predictions with a special guest. It's your boy Kazi. How you doing today, man?
Hey guys, it's Cos here, and I'm doing perfectly fine.
All right, so we're going to be going over predictions, explaining leader skills, kits, and stuff like that. So without further ado, let's go ahead and hop into part one. So with my picks here, I have an LR AGL standalone Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta paired with an LR Intelligence Sin Shenron transforming into Omega. What's your thoughts on that right there?
Okay, so I just want to go ahead and say my boy here did all the graphics, did everything that you see on screen, so definitely shout outs to that. This is a ridiculously crazy part one what do you call it, prediction. So just going into Gogeta first right here, this AGO LR Gogeta, who's going to be the Carnival. His kit in general always surrounds super attacks, being very, very defensive in the sense of countering. We already seen how powerful countering is with, of course, the new UI Goku. I kind of want you to go a little bit more into the countering aspect because I think that will be a pivotal part of his kit.
Right. So for the counters, I feel like instead of having it locked behind the transformations, since MUI can only do it when he's transformed, I feel like having Gogeta do it just straight up turn one. Obviously, it could be the eye effect for the countering. I think that was a perfect ability for his kit. Maybe locked behind like a turn restriction or HP or something like that. But I think that's a very thing, like a very popular mechanic that would be on a Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta for sure.
And then, of course, with the kit, there's always this little gimmick, just how we've seen with the LR Super Saiyan 4 Goku and Vegeta that transform into Gogeta, the Rainbow Orb mechanic. Now, I'm not going to say this guy's going to Rainbow Orb change, but there will definitely be something revolving around Rainbow Orbs. What do you think could be that effect? Like maybe he'll get a little bit of damage
Right.
reduction. Maybe
That's what
he'll
I
throw
was
some
thinking
additional
there.
supers.
I thinking maybe like crit chance and super. So like say if you get three rainbow orbs, you have 60% chance crit, three additional supers.
Oh, okay, I like that. And then, of course, as being a Gogeta unit, he's going to naturally just have super effective against all types.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, I
And
like
then
that.
since he is a carnival, I think his leader skill would be 200% to giant 8 power.
Yes. Okay, so for Giant 8 Power, we all know that category. It's absolutely terrible. We haven't had a Giant 8 Power unit leader skill since the actual Super Dragon Ball Heroes that we had last year, which is literally coming up on a year. So I think that's a perfect prediction for Carnival LRAGO Gogeta.
Right. Now let's go ahead and move on to the Sin Shenron here. What's your thoughts on his kit?
Okay, so I want to go ahead and just say this is a perfectly good predicted unit again because, like you said, it's a Sin Shinron that transforms into an Omega Shinron.
Mm-hmm.
That I think is perfect because they typically do save the transformations cards for Dokkan Fest exclusives, which this guy obviously is. I think this guy would work absolutely beautifully with that, Omega Shinron GT Bosses lead that we had got not too long ago. Everybody knows him. I've seen some people glaze him a little bit on the Reddits, but he is a very, very bad unit right now, and
Yep.
getting him this Sin Shenron would be perfect. For the kits, obviously he's going to be a Shenron. I think a Super Tank, personally, is what the
A
GT
tank.
Bosses
Yeah.
category needs. I'm talking damage reduction, like minimum 70%. Minimum 70% damage
Mm,
reduction. Maybe they can give him guard for first turn. That would be really, really good. I don't want to see any sort of supports. I don't want to see any sort of dodging. We need this guy just to be him right out the back. They really, really do need a slot one unit on the GT Bosses team.
yeah, definitely. I definitely can see him being that strong of a character. Definitely when he's transformed, just can't take damage, be cell max level type of character, and just absolute powerhouse.
And it's important that we kind of preface that Cell Max power level character, guys, because we don't have Cell Max shit on global, but he is kind of the pinnacle right now of extreme type units. No other extreme type unit is even close to touching him right now. So
Mm-hmm.
introducing an Omega Shinron that can get close to that, a card that's going to have big bad bosses too, as well as having the GT Link is perfect for his kit.
Mm-hmm. All right, without further ado, let's go ahead on and move on to part two.
Ooh, here we go. What do you call it? Can I start this one off?
Yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
Okay, so again, absolutely beautiful prediction for the Super Baby 2. Everyone loves Super Baby 2, specifically this form. And I also want to go ahead and point out for Super Baby 2, it's just going to be Super Baby 2. The LR one that recently got an easy A, everybody knows him already. That's actually Super Baby 2 giant form. So there's a very, very real possibility that Super Baby 2 giant form actually comes back and is very, very usable on the Super Baby team.
Mm-hmm.
What do you call it? Let me go ahead and pull up his kit real quick because we don't really see a whole lot of I guess you can say similarities between all the Super Baby 2 cards because we really don't have
Right.
a lot. One thing that is prevalent during most of them is he always gains some sort of crazy attack boost or performs critical hits against pure Saiyans or hybrid Saiyans.
Yeah, which is a very actually huge mechanic now since we are getting Blue Zone and they're getting superhero enemies, so it's very useful for him to have that and just be that big damage dealer that extreme class units really need here.
Hmm. And specifically talking about Super Baby 2 rather than the old Super Baby 2 Giant Ape, another thing that I really, really didn't like about the EZA for Super Baby 2 Giant Ape was the fact of how many restrictions they put tied to his
Mm-hmm.
HP. We need this baby to just come out and beat him. We've seen cards recently who have literally just came out and just beat them. Beast Gohan, no restrictions. The LR EZAs for the 6-year LRs, literally no restrictions. Cell Max, no restrictions. There's zero reason why we're still gatekeeping these restrictions to
Mm-hmm.
HP, to whether or not we have a Majin Buu Saga category ally on our team.
Right. And then moving on, LR Super Saiyan for Goku, it's the perfect pairing. You can't do much better than this for a part two.
Oh yeah, 100%. So with Super Saiyan 4 Goku, I want to go ahead and point out this. We haven't had a very good one since we'll call it the full power Super Saiyan 4 Goku. This one is just basic Super Saiyan 4 Goku. The last really, really good one we had was the LREZA one that came out, what was it, 2 years now? 2 to 3 years
Yeah.
ago? Yeah, so it's been quite a bit of time. I also want to go ahead and point out that this unit is more than likely going to be fairly basic in nature, meaning that he's probably just going to have 50% damage reduction, probably just going to have guard, probably just going to have about attack and defense plus 200 and like 50%. But that's perfectly fine if he ends up just being like, one of the monkey units, just a straight up brawler. Similar to how Cell Max is, he gets hit, whole bunch of stats, boom, you're
Mm-hmm.
ready to go. It's okay if we get cards like that because they're going to make them age fairly well in the sense that they're going to have stats to back up them for now. So over time, obviously they're going to age out, but it's important that we just don't have every single card having the same 60% damage reduction, guard, 50% chance to launch an additional. It's important that they kind of spice up things a little bit, and I think Goku is the perfect character to do so because unlike other cards, this card can actually afford to be fairly mediocre.
Right. But obviously, jumping back to part two, since Gogeta is the carnival here, you're going to be running him as the leader of Giant 8 Power, which is actually going to be overall become a very good category after a celebration like this. So even him being the Dokkan Fest, this is might be someone that you're not running as a leader skill, just as a second slot unit to just back up Gogeta.
Hmm. And I love that you say that too because, like I said, he doesn't need to be like a big 60% damage reduction, all these crits, all these counters. He can afford to just be more of a laid back card. And I think now that you say that, I think it will be very, very different for Goku cards if this card actually was more so along the lines of a Giant 8 power support for his kit.
Absolutely.
I don't think we've seen that a lot in recent times, especially with like these big name Dokkan Festival exclusives. A lot of them are just like leaders of their own, and then they use other cards to kind of juice them up. It will be
Right.
very, very different and a good change of pace to start seeing some of these big support characters come out for Dokkan Fest.
Mm-hmm. And then, if you don't mind, I want to go ahead and jump over back to part one and explain reasons why I selected the certain types. So for Gogeta, I decided to choose AGL. I think it's a very fitting type, just because there is a tech one, there is a fizz, and there is an intelligence one already. I don't see them
Hmm.
going with an STR. I think AGL is actually a perfect fit and a good typing for a superclass unit.
Oh yeah, I 100% agree. Like you said, they've already covered pretty much all of them, and we've been getting quite a few super STRs this year. So seeing a super AGO would be very, very good. I'm not sure if you've seen the super AGO class recently, but it's fairly stacked. But the super AGO class on GT Hero specifically is ridiculously underrepresented. You only have
Mm-hmm.
the Super Saiyan 4 Goku, the LR from the anniversary, and then you have the free to play Goku Jr. and Vegeta that are like viable.
Right. And then moving on to Shenron, just chose intelligence here because obviously last Tanabata AGL Shenron was already taken. There already is a Fizz and an STR one, so I don't think he would be tech. Just in my personal opinion, I just think that Int is like a perfect fitting character as a transformation Shenron.
Oh yeah, 100%. I agree again. The only thing that we have close to an Int Shinron is the Shadow Dragon army from the Ultimate Clash. That is literally it. GT bosses with Int is also very, very bad in the sense that they really only have that Oceanus Shinron, that easy A, and
Right.
that's it. That's all that they have for GT bosses. So seeing an Int character right here coming in and helping out, because we all know if you're running GT bosses, if you need that one of each color type mission, you are not running Shadow Dragon from the Ultimate Clash. You
Right.
are not running that card.
And since he does start out as Sin, there is that tech side banner Sin that was on the year 7, so that was also kind of
Hmm.
a discluded character. I mean, typing to use here.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And then we'll go ahead and do the same for part 2. Goku, I just chose Fizz. I mean, that was the only untaken typing left because I didn't want to do tech since UI just came out as like the newest Dokkan Fest, and he is tech. So for the LRs, so I think Fizz was just the next best option.
Oh yes, for sure. And as we've already said before, we're going back and looking at the category specifically. So for this Super Saiyan 4 Goku, you're probably going to be running more than likely Giant Ape Power. If not, you're going to be looking at GT Heroes. GT Heroes, they have very little Fizz representation. Once again, all you really have on that one is the 7th year LRs, who are going to be getting an easy A in the very near
Mm-hmm.
future. But Giant Ape Power, they do have a little bit more help with Fizz in the Giant Ape Power Super Saiyan 4 Vegito from Super Dragon Ball Heroes. So
Right.
you can end up making a fairly solid mono Fizz team with this guy coming in, especially being a leader for like Giant Ape Power, being a leader for like even Turtle School, like getting some of these Dokkan Fest leaders to start getting some of these underrepresented categories would be very, very good. And I think this color that you picked from is perfect for a mono Fizz team.
Absolutely. And then going on to Baby here, STR was the
Oh,
choice.
I like this one. Can I go for this one?
Yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
My boy is absolutely cooking. Of course, baby is a villain. So what does that mean? Extreme STR. We all know how bad that category is. Everybody and their mother was doing the mission very recently for one in their head. They're like, okay, we're gonna have to use Kid Buu and Super Buu EZA, and oh, we don't have Stomax yet. So
Mm-hmm.
this is a perfect addition, absolutely perfect. Just in case we don't end up getting Cell Max, that extreme STR unit on global before we actually hit worldwide download celebration. Which newsflash, guys, it's looking like we're probably going to be getting part 2 for Topo is going to be Jiren. So that means we're probably going to be without another extreme STR unit. And like I said, if you're trying to get one of each extreme type missions done, having this extreme STR unit is absolutely crucial in getting those done. We're tired of using Kid Buu. We're tired of using Super Easy A or Super Buu Easy A. They're old cards. They're absolutely garbage, and this would be a perfect change of events.
Yeah. And then going on just my overall thoughts on this celebration, the point of this prediction is just because I think the celebration overall is to boost a category that hasn't been getting buffs at all. So Giant 8 Power I think was the perfect pick overall with GT and stuff because it's a very dead category right now. There's no valuable options pretty much at all in newer content. So having a big refresh with Baby, Goku, um, and Grade 8, not Grade 8, my bad, Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. This category is
Mhm.
going to be wonderful after This celebration is going to have all the buffs you need to run under Gogeta, so it's not like it's going to be a dead category after this.
Oh yes, perfect. 100% on that one. Like you said, we haven't got a really good Giant 8 power leader since Super Dragon Ball Heroes last year, and I don't know if you guys have been keeping up with Super Dragon Ball Heroes, but the game's over, so
Right.
there's a very, very real chance that this next Super Dragon Ball Heroes is the last celebration that we do, and then we'll transform into a different type of game celebration for that time slot. But yeah, so the next time that we could see a good Giant 8 power category would be for a very, very long time if we don't get it scrubbed out in either this Gogeta or in that Super Saiyan 4 Goku.
Absolutely. And then we do also have side banners implemented for each Dokkan Fest banner. For
Ooh,
Shenron,
yeah.
I think Oceanus was the perfect pick. Thanks for Cozy for that idea there.
Oceanus Shinron. I really, really like this one. I actually did something a little bit different, but we'll talk about Oceanus first. So Oceanus, her EZA is quite old at this point. It's still very, very serviceable, but Oceanus has this thing to where she likes to play off of defense down and attack down mechanics, which, most people don't really like because in these bigger bosses, you aren't actually, being able to attack and defense down them. If you guys can recall, very very recently we got the UI Goku who actually disables the guaranteed hit mechanic, meaning that bosses that cancel dodge no longer cancel dodge. I would love to see this side banner unit play off of the same performs an additional attack if the defenses or attacks are down. If this specific side banner will cancel the ability to actually negate attack and defense buffs.
I think that's a wonderful idea. And if they don't want to do it for a side banner unit, even Shenron can just hold that mechanic. Because if you're running GT bosses, you have this Shenron, you have this, and then I think a side banner unit floater type of character like Oceanus can be implemented off that attack down status canceling, and just have her
Yep.
thrive along with the rest of the team.
Yep. The attack down would be a huge thing for her kit. Another thing I would like to go ahead and point out for her kit is she's a side banner unit. That means she's more than likely going to be dodge or die, right? So she's going to have at least a high or a great chance or some sort of super tank, which I don't think she's going to be a super tank. I think she's going to be another dodge or die unit. But dodge or die units, they typically have support. So her being a monstrous GT boss to support, just like how the new Golden Frieza was for the side banner for AGL Broly, I would love to see her have something along the lines of like attack plus 60%, attack plus 70%, and then defense a little bit lower on the 30 to 40% scale.
And then we also got a side banner for part 2, which is an Oob, which in my opinion is not really fit me as a dodge type of character. So I think he's going to be more defensive and kind of in relation to an STR Piccolo kind of side banner unit.
Yep, absolutely. I really, really like that. For the kit, they can do, just like you said with STR Piccolo, give him a little bit of damage reduction per GT Heroes category attacking in the turn. So Piccolo gets 15, excluding himself, so only 30%. If they can give this Oob, like, guard, no dodge, obviously, because he's going to be more so of a super tank like Piccolo. Give him guard, give him 20% damage reduction per GT Heroes attacking in turn, so leading up to 40% or 25, I think that will be just enough to make him a very, very good third slot unit.
Absolutely. And then, with that being said, honestly, the GT celebration is looking golden. But, as you know, we cannot go a whole celebration without easy A's. Without further ado, last but not least, we have these two easy A's.
Oh yes, these absolute bums. I love talking about these. I see everybody glazing up Vegeta still on the Reddit pages. Y'all know who y'all are. These cards are absolutely terrible. They've been around since 2021, so they are just in line. Cards like Kefla that are here for the easy A's. I want to go ahead and just start by saying with their kit, they all do this thing called Rainbow Orb changing, which is perfect, absolutely perfect for new EZAs. I love the Rainbow Orbs changing mechanic, so I think we should go ahead and start off right there with their kits, changing Rainbow Orbs. What else do you think they'd have?
Absolutely. I think since they are changing Rainbow Orbs, maybe they can implement a way for per Rainbow Orb they can get some defensive mechanics, some attack mechanics here and there.
What do you call it? One thing to point to is that these guys are just very, very bare bones. Attack 180, defense 120, and then vice versa for the Vegeta. Getting some damage reduction on Rainbow Orb pickup would be absolutely perfect because both of them are a nuking style unit in their own regard. Goku being the attack nuker, and then Vegeta being a mixture of attack and defense. So them getting like maybe some type of guard as well could really, really help them stand the test of time. I
Hmm.
don't think just giving them damage reduction per rainbow orb is going to be enough for these guys to compete.
Right. And then also going off them being easy, these are also on Giant 8 Power. So what this celebration really did was take the category that isn't great as Giant 8 Power and just completely boosted it. Now you have a runnable team and a viable team that people can use.
Oh yes, absolutely perfect. And like you said, with them being on Giant 8 Power, they're also on, GT Heroes. Of course, these guys are Pure Saiyans. Not like Pure Saiyans needs the help or anything like that.
Hmm.
But they're also on Power Beyond Super Saiyan, which people can argue all that they want. That category does need a little bit of help because if you're running Power Beyond Super Saiyans, you're not running an entire Power Beyond Super Saiyans. You're running mostly a Super Saiyan 4 team. You're running a full
Hmm.
Super Saiyan 3 team. It's not specifically just Power Beyond Super Saiyans.
Right. So even in these guys' kits, one more thing is the defensive support that they give. They give a bunch of support to GT heroes. So this is just another option for this team that's going to just be good. Going to be big support, good damage dealers. I think this is the perfect choices for EZA during this celebration.
Oh, 100%. And like you did point out that before we end off this video, they get defensive support and attack depending on which card you're running per ally attacking in the turn. So if they change this 50% to like 75 or even God forbid 100%, you could see some really, really high numbers from these from these EZA cards. Absolutely, because they're Dokkan Fest, so they have naturally high stats, and you're adding an extra 100% to their stats after they're getting their super, it's going to be absolutely insane.
Absolutely. It's going to be a blast. Let me know your thoughts and predictions down in the comments. What's your thoughts on the celebration? What's your predictions? Thank you, Cozy, for coming through. I really appreciate you.
No problem.
Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you in the next video. Peace.